Hello friends and neighbors, welcome to Living Beautifully. Well, today we are going to be harvesting our black-eyed peas, or cowpeas, southern peas, field peas, whatever you want to call them. We're going to be harvesting them today. So if that sounds interesting to you, come along. Alright, here we go. So first thing I think I'm going to do is pull the basil plants. I have plenty. Did I say plenty? I have plenty of basil. I have too much basil. Swimming in basil. So I'm just going to go ahead and get those out of the way. Trying to see if there are any peas on here. There are.
So you guys just heard me checking for bees, and that was foreshadowing. I was starting to pull up this basil plant and realized that there was a wasp nest in the basil plant. So that's why you saw me take a quick little jog away from the bed. I grabbed some of my wasp killer and I handled that, and we are back to business. So for this middle bed, I decided to try something a little bit different. I actually am cutting the plants at the roots with the bean pods still on the plant, and then I pick the bean pods off once I take them to the patio. I just wanted to see if I liked that better than picking them off the plant. I end up going back to my old method of the other two beds because I felt like it was a little bit more efficient. So since I opted to pull the plants out of the ground and then take the pods off, now I'm going through each plant and pulling the pods off. I decide after this bed that I prefer my original method better, so I go back to just pulling the shells off for the other two beds.
Alright, I went back out and I picked just a couple more handfuls of like the really dry ones from the other beds. There's still a lot of dry ones on there, but I just picked a few because I wanted a full basket to do the first kind of shelling session, and I'll show you how that goes. And then I'm going to pick the other two beds tomorrow because my family is waiting on me to have movie night. So this will have to wait until tomorrow.
So guys, this is the following day, and I'm going through and I am picking the pods off of the other two beds. I have this handy little apron that kind of lets me drop the peas right in the front pocket, and so it made harvesting a lot easier and faster. So I'm just going to go through, get these other two beds cleaned, and then I will show you how I shell these and get them all cleaned up to start letting them fully dry out. So you guys can see on this pod right here, an infestation of aphids, armyworms, a gambit of pests, all right on this pod. So now that we have all of our cowpeas picked, I'm going to dump them from this harvest apron, which this is such a handy tool. It's so easy when you're like walking around and you have lots of little things that aren't too delicate to pick. You can just throw them right in there. It makes it so easy. But I'm going to put these in here. I'm going to pick out the pods that are green or that aren't completely dried, because the method of shelling that we're going to use will not work on those. So I will have to hand shell those later, but I'm going to show you what we're going to do with our fully dried pods in just a second. So the way that this works is you put all of the dry pods in a pillowcase, and then I'm going to basically just whack this pillowcase on the ground several times. After I hit it on the ground for a few times, I'm actually going to also step on the pods. You're just trying to kind of disrupt and crunch those pods up so that they release the peas. So now that we have all of our peas shelled, we're going to do what I think is called removing the chaff. So basically, I have a fan turned on, and I am pouring these from one container to the next. The peas have much more weight to them than the pods and all of the leaf debris and stuff like that. So as I put this through the fan blows off all of the pods and the peas fall into the container. You do have to do this several times before, everything has flown out. But then at the end, you should have a fairly clean, just collection of your peas. So as you can see right here, these are our peas after we've removed all of the debris, and it did a pretty good job. I am going to store these in a single layer. This is all of our harvest after I've shelled all of them. I'm going to store these in a single layer for several weeks, well, a few weeks, to make sure that they're completely dried out, and then they will be ready to enjoy. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Hope it was helpful. And remember, you can always cultivate something good in your life and in the lives of those around you. Take care, guys.